where every Tuesday we are going to give you the tips, tools, and resources you need to confidently solve your clients' health issues and grow your career as a health coach or professional. If you guys are ready to dig in, drop the word guide below and we're going to send you FDN's 3-step guide to getting real results for you and your clients. I am your co-host and FDN career counselor, Piper Gibson. And as some of you may recognize the man next to me, this is Reed Davis, the founder of Functional Diagnostic Nutrition. He is going to inspire us with lots of wisdom today. So how are you today, Reed?
Fantastic, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm great. It's a great day. The weather here is amazing today, so super good. So if you are ready,
Awesome.
let's dig in. And we will give the health coaches their tip that they need for the week. And this week we are going to talk about how to identify healing opportunities. So what is your experience with identifying healing opportunities, Reed?
Yeah, well, I started looking for underlying causal factors in terms of why people felt wrong or looked wrong. Something about the way they looked or felt that they wanted to change. And I'm not a physician, so I don't want to diagnose and treat any specific thing. I realized really quickly that that was wrong. So this idea of looking for underlying causal factors revealed that there were opportunities. There are things upstream that can be modified, that the person would want to change, that would want to, generally the idea is to bring back into balance. So the correct terminology would be healing opportunity. As a health coach, we coach up that healing. The body wants to be healthy.
Right.
Every cell, tissue, organ, and system knows what to do. It needs to be coached up, to be given every opportunity for the intelligence to be expressed in the right way. So when we see something on a lab result that's off, out of balance, not where you want it, then that would be a healing opportunity.
Absolutely. So I just want to make sure that you guys can hear us. I know someone asked if we have sound, so please let us know if you can hear us. And also, have you guys ever experienced the need for finding that healing opportunity? But we love for you guys to interact and drop us some comments. So absolutely let us know if you can hear us and let us know about your own healing opportunities. So where are
Hey, Chip, let us know if you can hear.
Yeah,
give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yeah, Monica asked if we had sound, so I just want to make sure everybody can hear us.
Well, I can hear you. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, Chip. Thank you for joining us today. So where is a great place to start, Reed, when we are looking for a healing opportunity?
Well, they're so abundant, So over the years, again, I kind of probably did things following along in the footsteps of other, thanks, Monica, of some of the alternative practitioners I was following 20 years ago. But then I started to diverge a little bit. People come with a complaint, usually something that they, something about the way they look or feel that they don't like. Why else would they be in your office or talking to you or coming to hear you speak somewhere? So they got something they want or need to change. And the trap that I noticed, it took me a while, but if I was chasing that one thing, then I realized that I was just like everyone else. Oh, that sounds like thyroid, or that sounds like parasites. That sounds like, and you'd run one test and you, oh, look, I found something. As if you're on some fishing trip, hey, look what I caught. So that worked for some people, but not for everybody. And that didn't satisfy me. I was never satisfied if I didn't really help someone. Like I knew it was going to take time to heal, but 3 months down the road, if they're not saying, wow, I'm way better, then I get really concerned and start digging deeper. And what I noticed was a pattern. And so the pattern that I recognized was that when you look upstream for causal factors, there's going to be hormones, the immune system, digestion, detoxification, energy production, and nervous system problems, like across the board. Now, that just happens to spell HIDDEN, hidden. And so those healing opportunities, if you look in those 6 areas, you're going to find things that could be improved. And then whatever that person's complaints are, remember, you're kind of now taking a 60,000-foot view. They might have complained about thyroid, which is a hormonal problem, or sex drive, which is a hormonal problem, or irritable bowel, digestive problem, or whatever it is. But what I noticed is that if you just looked at that one thing kind of close, like what's a little bit upstream from there, and you could help some of the people some of the time. But if you wanted to take that broader view, you'd identify healing opportunities in all of these 6 areas. Get a person to work on that, so to speak, and man, the results just far outperformed the other way of doing business. And so basically what you have is there's looking for healing opportunities, treating everything non-specifically versus specific treatment. You go to someone and they go, oh, it sounds like thyroid, and then they put you on thyroid medicine. They go, oh yeah, I found your problem. Or even with some of the diarrhea, constipation, heartburn, indigestion, bloating. Oh, it sounds like parasite. Yeah, I found some. I'll pat myself on the back. You're going to help some of the people some of the time with that approach, but you're not going to help as many people as we do.
I absolutely agree. I find with my clients, they've been everywhere, they've seen everyone, and they still don't have answers, and they still feel horrible, and they just really want to feel amazing again. And so, I really stress that it's not one thing, it's usually several things, and you have to address all of those. So you have to address the diet, the rest, the lifestyle, everything that comes along with it. We get a lot of people who call about functional diagnostic nutrition who are interested in taking the course. And, that is something they ask about, what really sets you apart. And I explain that, we're looking for those hidden stressors, those things in the body that, working on the whole body is going to come together to heal your body. So I totally agree.
Amen, sister.
Yeah. So what are some tips you have for health coaches and professionals for looking for those hidden stressors, for those healing opportunities?
Gee, I would say that, obviously we run labs, but, it's the biggest tip I would have is don't predict anything. So if they come in and they are tired and fatigued and they gain a little weight and can't seem to lose it, and they feel kind of sad and their hair's thinning and their extremities might feel cold or even numb, they usually would have constipation. This is a classic or traditionally reliable cluster of symptoms that points the finger at thyroid. The thyroid regulates metabolism. Metabolism has slowed down. Those things are pretty good indicators that your metabolism isn't what it should be. And so it points the finger at thyroid. And you would predict, based on that cluster of symptoms, thyroid. And then you would actually test the thyroid and find, yeah, look, thyroid's low. Oh boy, I'm your hero. Here's some things that will help you with your thyroid. And again, some of the people are going to feel a little bit better. But I think it's a mistake to do a whole lot of instantaneous prediction and then run one lab. And even if you find something, you're pretty much just going to end up treating the paper. Here's some things that will raise that level. So that can be done easily with medication, and then maybe not so easily, but it can be done with supplements. Here's some things you could buy and use and try this. And people, it might crank up their, levels a little bit. But as to whether you've really resolved the distant, sometimes very distant, underlying conditions and issues that have through all these metabolic complexities, affected your endocrine system and eventually affected the thyroid. It finally got to the thyroid. Well, then you're ignoring all of those things at what I think should be your peril. So you could go through life as a practitioner, depending on traditionally reliable clusters of symptoms. It sounds like thyroid. It sounds like low testosterone. It sounds like you've got a parasite. And test that one, maybe even two things, and help a lot of people. But eventually those symptoms are going to come back, or new symptoms are going to appear. And if you take the same approach to the next set of symptoms, then that person's just in a cycle of trial and error. They're testing, and one doctor told me it was this. And that's the thing that you could notice about your practice. If you're using that system, people don't stick around very long. They think, you helped me a little bit. I'm gonna go try this other guy because he helped my friend, or he helped my cousin, or what. And so you get all these people in this cycle of trial and error, which was the topic for today. And so health coaches need to take a much broader view. And if you're going to run labs, run 5, because now you're going to be addressing these pillars that my 10 years in the business, before I have been teaching for 11 years. So my 21 years in business has been dedicated to how far upstream can I go? And then, how can I get a person to sort of live opposite? Like every day is opposite day. We're gonna sort of coach up the functions that we find are in need of improvement. Well, we coach down all the contributors to what we call metabolic chaos. That's the only way out of the cycle of trial and error. You want to stop the cycle of trial and error. If you or someone or if you're practicing in such a way that there's this chasing of symptoms, or dealing with one cluster of symptoms at a time kind of a thing, and you're just on that treadmill of practitioner to practitioner, or maybe you do research online and you're trying different supplement programs, or different diets, different exercise programs, different therapies and modalities. You can go out there and spend a ton of money. By the way, people are making a ton of money on you. But no one's stopping the cycle of trial and error until you take this very broad approach. And that's what I found to be very true, as you have too.
Right. And I totally agree. And, Jen and Chip are commenting. Jen says that she has a lot of people in her practice who come to her with thyroid issues, and they really have to work together to heal those hidden issues and find those healing opportunities. And Chip mentions over here some information about lab work and handouts. And so labs are an important part of FDN. They give us some valuable information, but we are not going to treat or diagnose anybody, and we are not going to just do it based on labs. We want to look for those hidden opportunities and really work on those stressors to heal up the whole body. So, a lot of people come to us and say, oh, I'm so excited to do lab work. But it's really so much more than the lab work. The lab work is just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, 10, 11 years ago, it was just about the lab work. Now it's become much more, because anyone can run labs today. But again, I'll emphasize that most of them are just treating the paper. And so they're using tricks to get the numbers to change, but not really looking far enough upstream to get the person to change. And so that the natural consequence of those changes is that the numbers change by themselves, so to speak. And so that's the holistic approach. And that's really the only approach a health coach should use, because anything else could be construed as practicing medicine without a license. I've never done it, never will do it. And yet I've been helping people overcome even very serious conditions for 20 years.
And that's because FDNs and FDN practitioners, and you, Reed, who created this amazing program, is, we do it differently. It's not the same old. We do it differently. We approach it differently. And that's why people are seeing results, because it's so different from what people are used to. So you really do have to step outside the box from your idea of what it means to get better, or, go to the doctor, or how, whatever it is you're doing for your health.
Yeah, you could say it's out of the box. It's so when there are people who just that maybe resonate. That wasn't a word I used 20 years ago, but these are the values of people who believe in the natural way. They don't really want to take medicine. Matter of fact, a lot of people go to their doctor and are told nothing's wrong with you. Like, here's your blood work looks normal. Maybe your cholesterol's a little high. Here's some medication, or nothing really specific to what they came in complaining about. So, where do they go from there? Nothing's wrong with you. Or here's some medication for something that isn't making sense to you. Or even if it makes sense, you don't want to take the medicine because you don't want to just patch things up or put Band-Aids on it. You don't want to just treat the symptoms. People want to get to the underlying cause or condition. That is a value that we share with our clients. They want to also. So if they're stuck in that cycle of trial and error, they're going from one practitioner to another who doesn't have that same point of view, they're not going to get along for very long. So those practitioners can adopt a new point of view, and then the people, and that's who's, we're the people's hero. That's always, I've been a working class guy, hero type my whole life, and I always fought for the underdog. Matter of fact, when I started in this business, Piper, I think you've heard me say this, I didn't have a health condition. Most health coaches started because they had a health condition, no one could help them, and they went and they dug around, and they've been on a quest for sometimes years and years and years, and finally found this or that. A lot of them say that about the FDN course. I finally found you guys where the mentality was exactly what I wanted. And so, we made ourselves findable, and they found it. So I'm not out there searching for people to take the FDN course. I'm just presenting what it is, and people are finding us finally. And that's kind of, when people are seekers, they're like that. They seek knowledge, not just to heal their bodies, but to expand their consciousness and self-awareness and these kinds of things. And it takes that. It takes the desire to change.
Jen says that was that her blood work looked normal, but it wasn't normal, and there were these hidden underlying healing opportunities that were being missed. And I totally relate to that. That resonates with me because I found FDN when my son was super sick. He was diagnosed with a neurological tic, and the doctors that we were using couldn't give us any answers. And so I had to find my own, and that's how I found FDN. And so, I've really used it to change my own family's life. And so what you're saying really resonates with me as far as, it's different, and it's a great approach. It really is.
Yeah. And again, I didn't have a health problem. I was fit as a fiddle. So I thought when I started working in this field, I just wanted to help others. And then when I found out about the cycle of trial and error, it became really evident really quick to me. I was running a wellness center, and everyone walking in the door had already seen 5 or 8 practitioners. So my motivation initially was, hey, you're getting ripped off. Again, that working class, people's hero, consumer advocate. Prior to this field, I was in environmental, saving the planet, air, birds, water, trees, bees, like making things better, making this a better planet. And so when I discovered this cycle of trial and error and what I consider to be a ripoff, people going from one practitioner to the next, spending a ton of money. I can't tell you how many times people said, I've been to 8 practitioners and I've spent X thousand, 10,000, 50. And that was 20 years ago. And I just said, man, somehow, some way, I don't know what it's going to look like. I couldn't have imagined where I'd be today 20 years ago. But I said, I'm going to be the last person or develop a way that they can actually get their answers. So I'll be the last person they need to see. And I realize now it actually takes teamwork. You you're not going to fix everyone's problems every time. They might need to go do something that you don't offer. But as a health coach, you're kind of the chief cook and bottle washer. You're triaging. You're coaching. You're giving them a mentality. You're teaching them how to think, and that's the wonder of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Chip mentions, that DRESS, DRESS, so diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, supplementation, is so much different than what you're going to get out there anywhere else. It's very unique to FDN. You created it, but Chip is really saying FDN resonates with him too. He and I have had several conversations, and he felt like he was going along doing everything right, and then boom, he had a heart attack, and his doctor was like, "Oh, you didn't do anything wrong." So it's about looking for those hidden stressors.
Yeah, people like Jen and Chip and others on the line and part of our group are what make it wonderful. Yes, I made some discoveries. I worked with some amazing mentors and things, but even they had sort of pieces of the puzzle that were missing. And because I was a hard worker, I ran thousands of labs on thousands of people because I didn't know you can't. They say that can't be done. I go, I did it. That's a good thing I didn't know you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So and I learned a lot, and I put the system together, the hidden stressors, the labs to run, and then the DRESS protocol, which is a true holistic epigenetic program. It works on every cell, tissue, organ, and system. It's the most, I'd say, bona fide epigenetic program I know of. And I look at them all. Anything new coming out, I'm purveying for my team, for my tribe. But it's since I developed FDN, it is a group-sourced program now. From day one, I first taught 19 people. I went over 200 slides in 2 days for 19 people 11 years ago. And then I said to everybody, what else would you like to know? How can I make this better? The first thing was, well, we want to run those labs that you just taught us about. So then the next iteration of the course was, well, everyone's going to run a couple labs, and then to get their personal constant, it would start working on yourself. And then, from there, it's just blown up. I mean, it's a very robust course. Matter of fact, this is kind of an announcement. I won't give particular names yet, but there's a college, a university that just asked me to add our stuff to their curriculum or parts of it, and they commended us on how robust the curriculum is. It's not a 2-day workshop anymore. It's a good 6 months, 8 months of all the stuff that you need to know to be the end of the cycle. You want to resolve metabolic chaos. You want to get people out of that cycle and trial and error. It's a step-by-step methodology for that. It's why our tribe has grown so much. And again, kudos to the tribe for giving me a lot of my best ideas. The course has grown and been reiterated many times because of the input from the wonderful and amazing people, caring, dedicated people who have taken it.
And that's what I love about FDN. It is all encompassing. And so, yes, when I talk to people, I'm like, the great thing about FDN is it's everything. You're going to learn the basic to the advanced, and you are going to learn everything you need to know to be a successful practitioner or to heal your family or whatever it is you are looking for in FDN, you can find it. And so that's what I love about it. It's just so robust and amazing. So that's super exciting news, Reed. That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's more to come. It's the credibility. I mean, recently we were accredited by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. All of our graduates now get board certified for AADP, Holistic Health Practitioner status. So it's kind of like 2 certifications for one. You can go sit for the AADP's Holistic Health Practitioner certification by taking the FDN course. So we're being recognized. At first, I didn't care about that. I just said, hey, if you want to learn what helped me, the way I operated in the office, I actually did this for 10 years in the office on thousands of people. It's been proven many times over. But, you know, obviously I can only help so many people. So I start deputizing others to do it. That's the whole deal. Come and get deputized and then make it your own. There's so much leadership. People have taken the FDN course and they go, wow, that's cool. And then again, it's their background, their history, and their problems that they had come to light, and they start applying it in a unique way to that situation. So now they have a lot of their own programs. So we're creating leaders, not just health coaches out there slugging it away. Yeah, we can help you be successful in your health coaching practice. That if you're not, we'll teach you how. But also looking for those leaders to take it as a stepping stone and move the whole game forward.
Awesome. So if you have one awesome or two awesome takeaways for today, so we can, let the people get on with their day, what would be your takeaways for today? What do you want to tell people?
Well, I have about 100, but I'll just think of one that popped in my head just now, and that is don't predict what's wrong with somebody. Stop predicting. If they come up and they feel a cluster of symptoms and you say, oh, that sounds like this, you're only going to be right a small percentage of the time. If it sounds like parasites, or it sounds like thyroid, or it sounds like irritable bowel, or it sounds like something else, stop. When you catch yourself saying it sounds like, take a step back and realize that it could be that, but that could be just way downstream of what else is going on. And what else is going on are all the epigenetic factors that have culminated in that cluster of symptoms for that person. In other words, that's just what they're complaining about today. And they may have even been complaining about it for years. And if it's completely unresolved, especially if it's mostly unresolved, and even though a lot of things have been tried, it's way upstream from there. And that's what we call metabolic chaos. And we have the system to sort that out.
Awesome.
So stop predicting.
Fantastic takeaway. Absolutely. I know that I learned a lot. I always learn so much when I get on these, our talk show with Reed. And I always learn so much. There's always a lot of great takeaways. And I hope you guys learned something. Thank you, everybody who joined us live today. And if you are ready, drop the word guide below in the comments, and we are going to send you FDN's 3-step guide to getting real results for you and your clients. And then you can join us here every Tuesday for Health Coach Tip Tuesday. We will be backing it up an hour, so it'll be noon Pacific starting next week. And I think Reed is out next week. I'm going to have some other people on with me. But thank you guys for joining us. I hope you gained a lot of awesome information. And if you have questions, definitely continue to drop them in the comments and we will address those. But thanks for joining us. Thank you, Reed.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye. Thank you.